Alright guys, Papa Pepper here. It's been cold lately, but before the cold came, there's been a lot of rain, a lot of things are growing crazy, and lately we've had a couple of requests from some of our neighbors. In fact, yesterday we dropped off 6 or 7 little lambs at one of our neighbor's house, and today we're taking a couple goats up to another one. Got a text from one of my neighbors this morning saying, hey, we've got some chicks next week we want to put out in our chicken pen. And they said, you know, but it's overgrown. We're afraid we'll lose them. Do you got a couple goats we can borrow to mow the thing down? And I said, well, sure we do. And then the one yesterday where we dropped off the lambs, it was cool too because we were going to wean some of our lambs. So now they are, you know, next property over, farther away from the moms. So there's going to be less maying from them, less maying from the moms, you know, back at them. And it'll just give them a good chance just to be completely weaned and for everyone to move on to the next stage of their life. But they've got a garden with a lot of grass in different areas, so the sheep can just come in and mow it. I think last year we ran 5 or 6 of our little lambs up there for most of the season. They've got some areas fenced in and then walkways in between it, so the sheep can just kind of head around eating down the walkways, and allows them to get less ticks and have a more manicured area without putting much effort into it. All they got to do is keep some water in there for the sheep, and we check on them periodically too. But you know, people do rent out sheep and goats and stuff. It's free food for my goats and sheep, and it blesses my neighbors. So we just try to live peaceably with everyone we can. If people want to be cool with us, we'll be cool with them, and just like to help people out because they're your neighbors, so you might as well. So we're gonna actually take these 2 up there, Bonita and King, and then we'll check on the little lambs when we're up there too. And we are getting rid of a couple. Bonita is actually an Angora. We're actually going to be getting rid of her just because she doesn't really fit the purposes of us here on the homestead. And then we got extra Jacob sheep that we're probably we're looking to get rid of as well. So if you guys know anyone in the Ozarks who's looking for sheep or goats, leave a comment. Maybe we can get together with them. But all right, here we go. So you can see there is plenty to be mowed. Release the goats. Lose a full-size chicken in there, much less a chick. Stand out in there and show how deep it is. So you can see this small flock of sheep then. We've got these walkways around the gardening area. And of course it keeps things mowed down around tools and stuff too. So hey guys, how are you doing? Yeah. And these are all females except for that second one there. The second closest one's a little male. But they're doing pretty good so far. So these are the edible grass-powered lawnmowers that fertilize as they go, and they reproduce after their own kind. So pretty good. And as you can see, there's 2 white ones in there. For the Jacob sheep, they're supposed to be 40% dark, 60% light, black muzzle, black eyes. 2, 4, 6 horns. These ones are naturally polled and white, so those 2 white ones not doing so good for genetics. But we bought 2 kind of messed up flocks, and we're trying to breed them back to where they should be. So the other ones are doing pretty good. Trying to keep the best ones each year, and then got a new Ram Dodge to be breeding some of these next year, and that should be pretty good. But both of the ewes from this year look like they have 4 horns. One's got 4 black horns, one's got 4 white horns. And then the ram has 4 black horns, and the ones from last year at least have horns. So we'll see what happens. In other happenings today, man, if you guys did not see the video from when the Self-Reliant Roadshow stopped in here and dropped off a gift basket from their newest sponsor, rareseeds.com, Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. It was amazing, absolutely amazing, but I've got all these seeds of stuff that I really wanted, but had to cut from my order when I placed my last order with them because I was trying to aim for about $80, and there were a couple things just outside the realm of that purchase price. So I've got these really cool scallop squash that we're really looking forward to growing, and I've got some rabbit manure and some compost I'm going to add to one of my little circle raised beds in the area we're suppressing. I'm probably putting some up in the garden too, but we love stuff like this. So happy to have seeds from that. The Tom Thumb lettuce was something that I definitely wanted to try. It's super cold today, like I mentioned earlier, but I'm hoping that we can grow some now, and if not, if it doesn't work out that well, I'll plant some again in a month or two, you know, as summer kind of wanes, I think, right? Waxes, wanes, either one, as it kind of fades away, turns into fall. But then these red swan bush beans too, really looking forward to that. I love especially corn and beans, obviously peppers, but the variety of corn and beans too just blows my mind, and growing a lot of different varieties this year, trying to keep them spaced apart so if we save our own seeds they kind of stay true to kind, liking that. But these are so cool. I mean, they're actually a red bean, and one thing I like about the red beans, kind of like the Chinese red noodle bean, is that they're color coded, so it makes it much easier for me to pick. I can just kind of pick the right color and you got a winner every time. So big thank you to Baker Creek for sponsoring the Self-Reliant Roadshow. For those of you who are not watching, you gotta check out what's going on at Bobblehead Homestead this weekend. It is crazy, and seriously, to think about this man had a huge project. All of a sudden, timing worked out just perfect. Cabin rolls in, Self-Reliant Roadshow shows up. There should be volunteers piling in all weekend into next week. They're already showing up, and this guy's, you know, living accommodations are going to get whooped out and completely changed in just a matter of days, and I'm so looking forward to it. It just makes me marvel at from time everlasting, God knew that that'd be happening. I mean, just, I don't know. And then we just all get to play a role in it, so super excited about that. I'm going to get to planting and go from there. So with a lot of squash, they like a really nutrient-rich soil, high in organic material. A lot of times composted manure, cold manure, compost is stuff that they're really going to need to get what they need to really produce. So cool thing about using these little raised beds is, again, this is just an area I'm suppressing, keeping things from sprouting up, covering it in a layer of mulch, and then wherever I want to actually plant, I just remove the mulch, add a ring of rock, and then add in what I want. So I'm going to really start this off right with some compost, and then some rabbit manure, and then some really good soil I've got. Make kind of a mound here, plant my squash seeds into that, and they should thrive. Really looking forward to seeing how they produce. So I love being able to take that much control over the growing medium in which we're going to be raising our food, especially because we're putting that in our body. I mean, a lot of people don't really think, because it's such a common occurrence, that what we eat actually enters our body. We got to be careful what we allow to enter our body. So let's get growing.
Our rabbit, since it got colder, she pulled a bunch more fur, and it's so much to keep her babies warm.
So with the colder temperatures, the mama decided to pull a bunch more fur to keep her babies warm, huh? Oh yeah! Wow, look at that, guys. That whole thing is just extra furred up. You can see it wiggling. There's little babies hiding in there. Wow, guys, that's cool. She had that much more, but then also that. I mean, is this her first? She's a first-time mom.
No. Second.
Second-time mom.
I think it's second.
I thought this was the only time we actually got her bred.
We had a bed with this one.
Really?
And she had Shapa and the two ones on the other side.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was the other rabbit. Okay, well, anyway, she is a good mom.
Yeah.
And soon her babies will be big like these two twins, sharing a drink.
Yeah, they're crazy.
So this is one of those areas where I have a multi-purpose plan. There's actually supposed to be a muscadine grape growing up here. I got a couple from Shalom Acres the other year. 2 of them are doing great, but I lost one. So I'm gonna need to find a replacement muscadine grape, then I can just have 3 rows of muscadine grapes growing here. But while that grows up over here, I've got an opportunity to grow things at the lower level as well. I love, if I've got a raised bed, if I can have a couple layers or maybe even multiple layers of food, that's the way to go. This stuff here, I mean, if I take back the cover and I reach into it, it is some rich organic soil. It is wonderful, a lot of compost, a lot of manure in there. So I'm just gonna scrape back the top layer, make a couple new piles, because this is, you know, I still got room to add to it. And over time, I may even just kind of keep building up with these rocks and make these deeper and deeper. So they can still run into the existing earth, but the raised bed's getting added material on top of it, growing medium that's really healthy. And I'm gonna try growing some of the squash here, plant them kind of near the fence. They can run through on both sides and we'll see how they do. In some of the other ones I started already putting strawberries at the bottom level. Love having strawberries all over the place. They reproduce really well and they produce really well. So something we really enjoy, but I'm gonna add some into here. This should be good enough for them to grow in, but I'm gonna add some extra rabbit manure and stuff just to provide some extra stuff for them. Try to make them as good as possible, growing as well as I possibly can. While I got you guys here quick, I don't know how many of you guys know what the yacon is, but it's kind of similar to a cross between like a sweet potato and Jerusalem artichokes. So I've got 3 of them here sprouting up that I got from Bob Mill's garden last year. My first year growing them, I'll be doing a more in-depth video on them come harvest time, but just wanted to show them off and say they are doing well. Thank you so much, Bob Mill's Gardens. So in this raised bed, I'm going to be planting the red swan bush beans. For my pole beans, I like the noodle beans as far as a high runner, something that's going to climb over a trellis. So a good bush bean is great, and this will be, like I said, color coded, making it easy for me and the little peppers to pick. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I absolutely love my soil. This stuff is so good to grow in. And I do mean the amended soil I have inside my raised beds, not the rock and clay that comes naturally with the land I purchased. It's this stuff I'm talking about. So this is an interesting area of the garden for many reasons. Number one, it's under a big tree I'm working on. It's sycamore, and some of the branches have broken off and are still hanging up there by vines. So it's a process that I'm working on to get rid of them. I've got a couple of apricot trees here that are going to grow up into the upper story of this raised bed. There's some comfrey that eventually I believe will fill in the whole bottom, but for now I've got a row of comfrey, the row of apricots, and then back there cilantro has reseeded itself. So there's some cilantro over there, stuff that overwintered next to me there. In the old cold frame that we had, the straw bale cold frame, there's still cilantro growing there, so that's excellent around here. But I think I'm just going to remove some of this because this is a good shady area of the garden right now. And since lettuce is often known to bolt in the summer, I wanted something that could be here and hopefully, you know, be a more cold weather plant that would prefer to be in the shade and not get quite as hot or sunny. So I'm thinking this Tom Thumb lettuce could work here. I'm gonna try to run 2 rows and just see how it works. So as always, big shout out to all you guys checking this stuff out, enjoying our journey here. Thanks so much to the Self-Reliant Roadshow for passing through and dropping off those seeds. And thanks so much to Baker Creek for being willing to bless others and give away, you know, I mean, they're giving away their profit. You know what I mean? This is how they make their money. Yet they hooked up the Self-Reliant Roadshow for the first 2 seasons as a sponsor. Sent some amazing gift packages. Bobblehead Homestead should be getting the next one here. The 5 stops they had before they came here are all getting, you know, back ordered one. They're actually just shipping them out to those homesteads. Definitely love the seed company, rareseeds.com. It's my #1 place to go. Both in person and online when I'm shopping for seeds. Love being able to be there. And of course, you know, just interacting with others in such a way. You know, my neighbors have some high grass. We can send them some goats, some sheep. They can mow that stuff down, and working together we can accomplish that which we can't accomplish on their own. So appreciate you guys following along. Stay tuned. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, the Abundant Harvest Homestead. Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.